wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ MV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building. We have Terrence Floyd. Welcome, brother.
Peace. Welcome. Thank you.
For those who don't know, you are George Floyd's brother.
Yes, sir.
And before we get the interview started, how are you doing? How is everything?
Well, for starters, I'm just maintaining right now, trying to, process everything. You know what I'm saying? It's a daily process, but I'm maintaining, man.
Maintaining. Now, I didn't know you have so much. What is your connections to New York? Because when you come in town, I mean, everybody done call that you know. So I was like, damn, he must have lived in New York. He must have did something in New York, from New York.
Yeah.
Had some girls in New York, something about New York.
Actually, I was born in Harlem, raised in Brooklyn, and spent some time, went to high school in Queens. So I'm familiar with your town.
Okay, what part of Queens? What high school?
I went to John Adams.
Oh, John Adams. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And actually, I first was introduced to you through Saigon.
Yeah.
I didn't know that's your cousin.
Yes, it's funny because we was at a birthday party for my cousin in Spring Valley, and he came through, and I said, "Oh, what's up, Saigon? What's going on?" And he was like, "Yeah." So my cousin said, "You know who he is?" I said, "Yeah, that's Saigon." You know what I mean? The rapper or whatever. He was like, "No, that's family." I said, "What?" And it was like, it just hit me like, wow, that's my cousin. Okay, what's good? You know what I mean? Ever since then, we just been on the phone. What's up, cuzzo? What's up?
Yeah, he got a hip hop battle coming up.
Yeah, I heard, man. And I my Saigon got skills, and I know Vado got skills too. But I try to stay out of that.
Where the hell have I been? Saigon's battling Vado?
Yes.
Vado, I got Vado?
Yeah.
What the hell in the... All right, we'll talk about that later. Where the hell have I been? I didn't know. Oh, my goodness.
All right, so now with that out of the way, we know we had some very serious things that we need to discuss. And I do want to say that I commend you for being on the front lines. I know it's not easy, right, having to deal with reliving, your brother, George Floyd, having to go through that tragedy over and over again. And I saw an interview that you did where you said that you watched that tape like multiple times.
Yes.
And can you talk about that and explain?
Well, a lot of people, I told people that I watched it numerous times after I saw it. At first, I just wanted to see, was I really seeing it? Like, is this for real? And then once I saw it, I just kept watching because, as I stated before in other interviews, me and my brother, we from the same father, George Floyd Sr., so different mothers. So I wasn't raised with him, but I always wanted to meet him, and I always knew about him, knew his whereabouts. Everybody told me about him. They told him about me also. You got a little brother in New York, whatever, and I'm like, you got a brother in Houston, so I always wanted to meet him. So in about 2016, I had a cousin that had a baby shower for her daughter in Spring Valley, and she surprised me. Mm-hmm. She called my sister in Houston and said, "Bring him up. This would be the perfect opportunity." So when I got that opportunity to meet him, it was wonderful, man. And we bonded ever since then. I wasn't raised with him, but it felt like that from 2016 to his demise. We was on the phone constantly. And it's just, once that happened, it's like, how you call somebody on the phone and they passed away, but you listen to their voicemail just to hear their voice. Mm-hmm. I didn't have that. So all I had was the video of hearing his voice. You know what I'm saying? So it went from me looking at the video to actually just blocking that out and just hearing his voice.
Now, when you got the call of his passing, people handle trauma so many different ways. Some people, they bury themselves in sorrow, they cry. But it seems like you just went like, nah, I got to go to the front line and fight.
No, that was after. Because when I found out about it, truth be told, I was upset. Because actually, the way I found out about it was weird. I was on my way to a doctor's appointment. And my two sisters, Bridget Floyd and Latanya Floyd, called me on Facebook Messenger. And was just hysterical. And I'm like, what are you talking about? What's going on? So they like, oh, he's gone. I'm like, what are you talking about? So I'm like, I'll call you back. I go to a doctor's appointment. So I hung up on him. So as I'm in a doctor's appointment, I'm looking at people looking at their phones. And they like, yo, what's this? And I'm like, what are they talking about? So I'm not the type to be, I'm at an appointment. I'm not the type to look at my phone. I'm paying attention.
Right.
So I'm like, okay. So when I get back from Queens, I get to Brooklyn, I get off the train. My sister called me again, and this is when the name was actually revealed. Before it was just, a picture and the voice. My sisters knew his voice. You know what I'm saying? So, but now the name is revealed, and then people like, I'm walking down Gates Avenue, and people like, yo, this is crazy, yo, what's going on? Everybody look at the phone doing it. I'm like, what's going on? I just said, let me stop, let me look. And when I saw it, it's like I was next to the building, and I just collapsed, and I hit the wall, and like my peoples came up to me and was like, yo, you all right? You all right, T? You good? And I'm like, yeah. I just said, yo, that's my brother. And they was looking at their phones like, you serious? So it was like that whole week I shut down. I was in the house.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to go outside. It was like, everybody was calling me. I didn't answer no phones. So I realized the shutdown wasn't good. You know what I'm saying? And I'm hearing this. I'm like, listen, I was living in Queens when the Sean Bell thing happened.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I seen, the Eric Garners on the news and stuff like that. And now it hit home.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I'm getting tired of this, man. You know what I mean? Because I could be next.
Right.
I got 2 sons. They could be next. So I gotta hit the ground. Hit the ground. Let's get this going. So along with my partner DJ Famous, we started We Are Floyd organization. And the reason why I call it We Are Floyd is because, everybody was chanting George Floyd, George Floyd, George Floyd. Okay, you could chant We Are Floyd the same way, just like in the movie Malcolm X, when at the end the kids were saying, I am Malcolm X, I am Malcolm X. Okay, we could say We Are Floyd and start this movement and stop this systemic racism, stop this police brutality. And I just want to play my part.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So the nonprofit is called We Are Floyd.
Yes.
So can you talk to us about some of the work that you've been doing?
Well, we as an organization, we have been going around trying to partner up with schools, to let them know they are important and they got futures, mm-hmm. and we're going to try to partner with other people to help them. We also trying to partner with other organizations like the NYPD, and some people may say, what? You want to partner with the police department? But I do, because I want to change the narrative. I want to bring the narrative back from my era, mm-hmm. where, you had the police playing basketball with us. Mm-hmm. You had them, understanding our culture and our community. I mean, you had the bad apples, but still, it was the majority of them was, we seen them interact with us, mm-hmm. And that's the narrative I want to bring back.
Do you have family members that are in the police department?
Yes.
Right. So
yes.
I know that probably matters too. Envy, your father was a police officer, mm-hmm. so for you, it's also easier to look at it from, there are some good cops.
Yes, mm-hmm. Definitely. We have some police officers in our family, and they even some of my close friends, mm-hmm. they may have just retired, but they was in the police force when this went down. So I definitely want to partner with them. I definitely want to do things in the community, and furthermore, we want to attack the biggest issue in a black community, which is mental health. Mm-hmm. And that's real big for me, because right now people look at me like, you're so strong, you're doing this, you're doing that. They don't understand when that door closed, I have things I have to think about and deal with. Mm-hmm. And have I went to therapy? I tried it. I tried to talk to them, and I think speaking out and doing interviews and telling my truth is better for me than sitting there on the couch.
Why do you feel like? Do you feel like because you feel like you're talking to somebody that really understands you, opposed to somebody that feels like they're judging you?
Right.
Because you're talking to two brother and sister right now that's been through the same thing, that's
okay.
been harassed, that's
okay.
been through loss. Is that why you feel that way?
I feel like that because, not to downplay anything, mm-hmm. but what I'm saying is I have to be out. I can't be sitting there and just talking to somebody. You know, it has to be an interaction. You know, not just sharing my problems. I mean, that's the experience I had from therapy.
Right.
You know
and
what I mean?
everybody processes things differently.
everybody
for some
experiences
people,
it.
and also I think helping others
Right.
is also therapeutic.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
because this was tragic, and what can you do now when you move forward is try to figure out what can we do to keep George Floyd's memory alive, and at the same time help other people in the community.
Right. Because even when I interact with the children in the school, when they come up to me, it's amazing. It's like it's still mind blowing that these young children know who I am, know the situation. That's why I'm like, we got to do something, because if they could see this and understand this, then you got to change the narrative on certain things. Because before they grow up hating police officers and this, that, then we got a whole other generation that's going crazy.
Right.
How do you calm yourself down to not, you know, as they say, choosing violence, right? Now they put a statue of your brother in Brooklyn, and they vandalize the statue, and then when you hear like Derek Chauvin appealing his conviction and the family, how do you say, you know what, I can't choose violence because that's what they want me to do. They want me to get locked up. How do you calm yourself down from that?
That goes back to my upbringing, you know, where it was basically a foundation in church. And I know, you know, they say in the church, they used to say, you could be angry, but sin not. So it's like I carry that with me. You know, I could be upset. That's my given right. I'm upset. That's an emotion, but I don't have to act on it. You know, because once I act on it, now I have a lot to lose. I have children. I have a lot to lose, and now being in the public eye, now it's see. I told you. See, that's what they do. No. I'm gonna prove you wrong. Every single time. Even when I stood there and was talking at the trial, you know, and Charlamagne was right there. You know, they told me, you know, you really compose yourself, because we had people that was leaping over this, going to fight. Did I want to? I was upset, but I'm like this. I'm gonna let you know, because my words is gonna pierce you, and I don't care how evil you may be, how gangster you trying to be. That you can get to that heart, you know, and that's the way I do it.
Was there a point when you felt like he wouldn't be convicted?
Say again?
Did you at any point feel like he wouldn't be convicted?
Yes, from our past experiences with police brutality, yes. So when I heard, because the only conviction I remember was Abner Louima. And I actually personally know that lawyer, Sanford Rubenstein, you know, and he tells me to this day that officer is still locked up. So that's been years. It's been other things in between that, and we have not got justice for it. You know, I'm in contact with Gwen Carr. I call her Mama Carr, and I know she's still fighting. You know, but that's another reason why I wanted to start. I started We Are Floyd, because I don't want to just focus on just what happened to my brother. I want to focus on what's going on in the culture, and understand that, okay, now this family is going to attack everything, so the people that's going through it, that's been through it, they will see justice, and the people that's gonna go through it, they're gonna see justice.
You ever look at some of these other networks, right? And they always talk about the past of the people that have been hurt or killed, right? They can go back and, you know, they could talk about, well, in 1999 he was arrested for this, and in 2002 he did this, in 2003 he did this. And how do you know, what do you say to those people? Because it bothers me, because I always feel like, you know, they can use our culture when they want. They listen, their kids listen to their music, they listen to our music, they go to these concerts, they hire our artists and all this other stuff. But at that point, they don't care.
Right,
But
exactly.
when it's something else, they pick those moments out. So when that happens, what is your mind frame then?
You know what? It's funny you asked me that, because I actually was approached by a few people, and the way I shut it down, I said, okay, were you always like this? Did you always have this job? Did you always walk this walk? And they'll stop and look at me like, don't ask me that. Okay, don't come to me with this past stuff, because everybody has a past. Everybody has a past. And my thing is, he paid his debt for that pass.
Mm-hmm.
So let's focus on what happened. Google what he did after he got out and what he was doing in the community. Oh, you can't do that. You don't want to do that. You want to study. You want to stay on what social media blows up. So, but I'm not here to blow up for social media. I'm here to speak on my brother. I knew who he was, and yes, we all stray away. We all, come on, that's just human, you know. But it's what you do. It's what you do after you pay that debt, or you understand you're wrong.
Do you go to those shows sometimes when they call like those Fox shows, and or you just decide, nah, I ain't fucking with them?
No, it's just certain.
It's pointless.
Yeah, it's just certain shows. I know the questions are very interrogating.
And then you also know the audience.
Yes, true.
Is not gonna do anything
Right.
for you.
Right.
So, what kind of action do you want people to take now?
I just want them to follow the movement now. Keep your eyes open. Keep the fire burning for this justice, because you know we have those situations with the Sean Bells and the Eric Gardners and people at the height of the moment. Everybody, yeah, hitting the streets, and then as time go on, even with 9/11, with the love everybody showed, you know, when it first happened, and then as time go on, it died down until the anniversary date.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So I just want people to keep that fire burning and know that we still out here fighting. We still out here. We still want justice.
Right. There was so much talk about the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act, and then I feel like no one's even.
Yes. So many. We went to Washington and spoke with the president. You know, and he said he was trying, and I get it. You know, the president can't do everything himself. It's the House and all the representatives and stuff like it's the chain of command. I get it, but when you sit back and you pass all these other laws before the George Floyd law, is it because it's named the George Floyd Policing Act, or?
Yeah, that bothers me too. they pass all these acts for all these different organizations and all these other people, but it seems like it's so hard to get something passed for black folks.
Right, and this is something that you see is continuously happening, and this is something that may stop it. But then again, I think about it. I thought about it. That Policing Act is not going to get passed if the mindset don't get passed.
What you mean?
Because you could sign the paper. You could sign the paper and say, hey, bill is passed. Let's go. Let's put it into, let's implement it. But if the people's minds is still not changed, it's still going to be, they not going to care about if they get held accountable. They're not going to care because their mindset is not changed. They need to change that mindset where they say, okay, all of us are human. All of us are human beings. We all have human rights. We all have a purpose. If you realize that everybody, no matter race, creed, or color, we all have a purpose in this world, then it's a more effective when you pass that bill, because now it's really going to be a change. It's not just going to be in black and white.
What have your interactions with the police been like?
It's been funny because now, people, police, whether when they're in the area, I was. It's funny you ask, because there was a situation around July 4th where I was outside and I just stand outside in front of my building, and the guys out there had a little interaction with the police, and they were saying everybody clear, and then they came over to me. I'm just standing outside, I'm waiting, and I'm just standing outside, and he was like, everybody clear. I said, well, I live here. I'm just standing outside for some air. And the police, well, you got to go inside. I said, I'm just standing out here for some air. I'm not causing no trouble. And actually one of the other police officers looked at me and was like, tapped the officer like, no, let's walk. So it's like, is it because of, it's not because I'm a law-abiding citizen, it's because of my situation.
They don't want those problems.
Right.
Right, that press.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's why I say it's funny, Because if this situation wouldn't have happened, I guess I would have been the one shoved into my building.
Right.
And you know, so
Yeah, I would say this though, you know, the one cop that tapped the other cop, and you know, that's probably the reason why he did it. But we need more cops to tap other cops.
right.
Chill out. Yo,
Right.
bro, you're going too far. Chill out. Let's come on, chill out. Go home.
Like he lives here in
He
this
lives here. He
building.
lives
He's
here.
allowed to
Let's go.
stand
He can
outside.
Chill out. Like you're going too far. Like
Right.
chill out. We need other cops to do that. You know what I
Right,
mean?
exactly.
And that's the problem we don't have. And like you said, you know, as a kid, you know, I remember doing something foul, wrong. And the cop realizing like, this kid don't want this on his record. Yo, bro.
Right.
Bro, yo, go home. Go home. Just go home. Just turn around, go home. We ain't gonna act like this didn't happen. We've
Right.
had that before, but now it seems like it's worse. It's like it's almost an ego type of thing. Like even when I look at Derek Chauvin, and I you know I watched the George Floyd thing, the George Floyd murder I would call it, a bunch of times. Watched it with my son. Watched it with my daughter. And when I looked in his eyes, I seen the devil and I seen ego.
Yeah.
It was ego. When people like, yo, get off of him, you killing. He was looking at those people like, nah, I'm not getting off him because y'all told me to.
Right. And
You know
what
what I
you
mean?
and what you gonna do about it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, how can people donate to your
We Are Floyd.
Yeah, We Are Floyd.
Well, you could go to our website, wearefloyd.org, and you got the donation button on there. And also, you know, the Instagram, we are Floyd, WEAREFLOYD, NY. Is it org? Org, yes. Or either Terrence Floyd NYC, TERRENCE FLOYD NYC.
And you have a visual this Friday, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's in Union Square, and it's from 6 to 8. You know, you can come through and view. You know, I'll be there. You know, just speak, talk. You know, view, have a good time with the community.
Okay.
You know, what is it? 14th Street, Union Square, and it's actually rebuilt from the vandalism. Was being vandalized in Flatbush Junction. They actually took it down. The artist Chris, he took it down, refurbished it, fixed it up, and now when it's going to Union Square, now it's brand new.
It's right. Come back stronger.
Exactly. You can't stop us.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us again. It's Terrence Floyd. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.